right, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hawkes, and this is Your Best Life Defined. Well, so we made it. We made it to Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're staying at the Steamboat RV Park on the Grand River. It's kind of cool. From outside my window, the river's just across the way, and in the middle of next month, we actually move to a riverside spot, so we can look out our back window, or I can walk out my door and just turn right, and I'm right in the river. So we've brought our kayaks, and I'm really excited today. We're going to go kayaking, but the trip coming up here, we kind of ran into some bumps. I'm not just talking about potholes and the things you have to dodge in the road. For me, I actually hit a bump in the road. See, this is the 121st podcast I've done in 121 days. And it's been a kind of a high for me. I mean, I'm kind of like really exhilarated about my ability to continue to push it out, to continue to do this every day, to continue to find things to talk about, and to spend that much time and energy to find things within myself to share with you. And so I'm running real high, and for those of you who know me, with every high comes a low, and what's funny is the higher you are, the farther you fall, right? And I've been floating clear up here. I've been in the clouds with this thing. Even though I haven't always been happy about what I produce, I'm feeling really good about this overall success of it because I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm in my element, right? Well, we're cruising down the highway, and we stayed in Adventureland outside Des Moines, Iowa, and then we pulled in this quaint little RV park on the coast of Michigan, on Lake Michigan, and we're hanging out, and this is an amazing park. In fact, it's the only park we get a spot at, and it was a high-dollar park. It was where people can buy their RV spots, and they can customize them. They can put little gazebos in, little bunk houses and laundry and all that. And right in front of me, when we pulled in, right in front of me was this big motor coach. It had to have been a $500,000 unit, and right beside me was another one. It had to be at least a $500,000. And then all down that row there were these amazing motor coaches, except for one little Winnebago right at the front, just right when people turn in. You know, they got trees there, but they're the first. They catch the headlights of everyone who comes in after dark, right? And I don't know why, but out of the blue, all that shame, all those things, those feelings of inadequacy just friggin' rocked my world. We were there. Let's see, the first night we were there, everything was fine. We walked around, we did this thing, and then they had music the second night, and we walk around out there, and I'm just not feeling it. And, of course, the day we pulled in, there's some guy out there in shorts that cost more than my car. He owns that big bus next to me, and he's just watching me back and kind of smirking, and so that didn't help, okay, but so by the second night, we're walking around, and I'm kind of like in the pit. I've fallen off my high. I'm not feeling very adequate. I'm not feeling like I worked hard enough to make all this money. And it sucked. It sucks to go from the high to the low. But when Sandy and I talked about it, when I look back at what happened, I have to go back to Brené Brown and her book, The Power of Vulnerability. We early on in the trip, on the first 2 days of the trip, we actually listened to Brené Brown on Audible, and that's like the 9th or 10th time I've listened to that book. My wife and I have listened to it a lot. We just want to get a refresher course. It's like a refresher course for love, you know. It's like a refresher course for kindness, or a refresher course for pretty much anything that you have trouble in you. It's kind of gives you the answer, right? So we're just taking our refresher course, and I am feeling really good because I don't know if you can detect it from the conversation I'm having or from how I'm coming across now, but I have a lot of self-doubt about this. There's not a podcast I've ever put up that I didn't feel like, that was crap. And I'm sure even this one, I'll listen to the sound on this one because I made some adjustments on the sound, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that was okay, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be, right? And Brené Brown, she talks about being present, showing up every day for your life, showing up every day so you can actually be active and present in your life. That is, when you are with your children, you are in that moment, you are alive, you're paying attention, and as you move through those tasks in your life, you engage fully. That's what I was mentioning in a previous podcast about even if your job sucks, go there, show up, do it. Do it until you've created something better for yourself. Do it while you create something better for yourself. So here I am. I'm showing up every day on this podcast, and of course I'm living this whole dream. Well, all of a sudden I just get piled in with all this doubt. I got the rich guy smirking at me because I am having a little trouble getting my trailer in, which was it was a pretty tight park, right? But having a little trouble getting my trailer in, and he's over there smirking, and then I'm thinking about the podcast, how it's been going, how I didn't like the last ones I did, and before you know it, I am in the pit. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm so far down in the ground in this hole that the top, that hole at the top, it looks like a pinprick of light. That's where I am. I'm like, ah. And we talked. Sandy rode it out with me. She rode the storm out with me, and it was kind of bumpy, and we worked on some things, and I worked on some things. I'm trying to figure it out, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job today. I feel pretty good today. But when we talked about it, what I figured out is it came down to me forgetting who I was, or I guess who I am. And more than that, it came down to me forgetting to count my blessings. I mean, who am I to be feeling down and out because I don't own a bus, that I'm not a millionaire? I mean, there are people in this country right now who wonder if they can eat. There are people in this country right now who can't get health care. They can't get insurance. They don't have a place to live, or may not have a place to live if the economy continues on the path it's on. I mean, I was kind of ashamed of myself. I really was. And, I think it's a chemical imbalance or something, because this is the cycle of pretty much everyone I've ever known who's driven, who's kind of like an overachiever, because I've done a lot of things in my life, and this is one of the most successful things I've ever done besides my family and my kids, my wife and my kids, and of course my career was pretty successful, but there's nothing in my life that I've grabbed a hold of like I have the opportunity to talk to you. And it's a blessing. And when I started looking at that, all of a sudden I started feeling really foolish. What do I got to cry about? What do I got to fill in the hole about? I mean, look at my life. I didn't say goodbye to someone I love because of a virus. I don't face foreclosure on my home. That's why I show up every day. I show up every day. I'm not asking you for anything. For some reason, I have always felt felt compelled to show up every day, to share my story, to help people. I can't even help myself. Sometimes I want to help myself, but sometimes I just can't. I try and stay away and not talk to people and ask them how they're doing. But it's just like it's almost innate to what I'm supposed to be doing. So just a little reminder, it's hard. Life's hard. And what makes it harder is forgetting how good we have it. I mean, forgetting all the good things in our life. So if you're struggling right now, if you're waking up right now and you're feeling like, I just can't do it anymore, take a minute and close your eyes and think about all the reasons you should be saying thank you. All the reasons you should be saying, I really have it made. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for what I have. And I guarantee you what will happen is you will actually be able to see more of the goodness around you. Not only that, but you'll see those kind of opportunities. See, we only see the things we look at. You're sitting around angry, talking about this, talking about that, talking about all the disruptions in the world. Guess who you're not looking at? You're not looking at you. You're not looking at you. You're not looking at where you are and where you could be going. And that's where you fall into that pit like I did. Look at me. I got the life by the horns. I can live anywhere in the country I want. I have no debt. My kids are doing good. I have amazing grandchildren, an amazing wife. And she's a high school dropout, and so am I. I mean, what can you do with what you got? What do you already have? Yeah, shame on me for falling in the pit, but I'm glad to see we made it. We made it to Grand Rapids. We're right on the Grand River. The plan for today, our plan for today to energize our life is to jump in those kayaks and go up the Grand River to downtown. We're going to do some exploring on the water, see how far we can get and just kind of get a feel for things. So But I just want to stop by. I'm energized. I'm excited. I really appreciate the fact that you guys show up every day. I really appreciate the fact that there are some of you who are ready for this. There are some of you who are kind of looking at your life, and inside it's just like doesn't quite fit. It's like wearing a pair of shoes that are too big. You're kind of there, they're on, but they're kind of you're flopping around. Your life it's on, but it's kind of just like flopping around, and you're not really getting a good fit. Take a look at your blessings. Take into account what you have, and then take into account based on what you have, and align what is important to you, and then build your next choice around it. And that's where you get better. That's where you get that better fit. And in the end, that's what it's about, right? You get one day, live it good, right? Get one day every day, live it good, right? All right. I'm having fun. Hey, listen, I hope you will continue to tune in. I hope you will continue to tolerate my noise and my intrusion into your life. I'm really working to try and give you something you can use. I'm really trying to give you something that makes you say, okay, let me think about this a minute. Let me think about what's the one thing I can do right now that will improve my life in a day, a week, a year. What's the one thing that I would be motivated to do that will improve my life? Showing up every day, talking to you, having the opportunity to share my story with you, having the satisfaction of knowing that maybe someone out there is starting to pick up on what I'm saying, that really feels good to me. That is some value for me. That is a blessing for me. Thank you for that. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.